Morning, Fort St. Joe City Commission. Jim, you want to take the lead?
I can, Mayor. This morning, Mayor, myself, and Police Chief Matt here, and we did have a meeting at the DOC. We just want to get everybody up to speed and talk about what our roles are when we have this type of situation with the city. This morning, we did meet. Marshal Nelson informed us that right now we're at minimal risk. It looks like everything is going more towards the east, but we still don't want to let our guard down. We still could be in for some minimal tropical force winds. Looks like the surge is going to be minimum, but we could also get quite a bit of rain. So basically, first of all, let's open up to y'all, see if y'all have any questions about what the weather's like right now and anything we expect at this point.
Jim, I've got a question. What's the plan for all the departments?
Okay. Yes, we already met this morning. As soon as we got done there, what we did was we got all the department heads together. So right now, what we have is your water plant and your sewer plant. They'll both be operational. They're staying open on there. The plan for the water plant and the sewer plant is to hold the guys over tonight on the evening shift, pending weather. We were talking about whether it'd be good to bring guys in or not on the 11 o'clock shift, but the concern is about whether the bridges will be closed or not. So right now, Larry and Kevin, they're just going to keep the guys over, looking like the winds are going to be too high. Because we have a lot of employees, y'all, that drive in from Weevil Hitchcock. So
But we have enough employees that if some of those need to stay home, the ones that do work in town can hang in there, right?
yeah.
So
Everybody's on standby.
what you're saying is the water plant will be manned 24 hours.
My thing
For
is,
now.
I didn't hear you say anything about public works.
Public Works, basically what we got right now is it's just on standby as needed right now. We have an on-call guy, like John was going to see about going back and staggering guys to check the lift stations. How many guys do you think you're going to have staggering, John?
I mean, it depends, right now, probably, well, I got two that live inside the bridges, so.
The bigger concern is with the guys in the Public Works is first thing is you got, when your storm comes in, you got to make sure that Duke Energy and those guys have cleared everything as far as power lines, because you don't want your guys out there working in the streets and maybe a live wire and those kind of things.
My thing is, I'm not worried about that as much as I am flooding and drainage problems. I think we need to have a full crew or a good crew at all departments, public works, water department, sewer department. Because what's gonna happen is if we get caught with our britches down and we don't have anybody to go out and do that, it's us guys up here sitting up here looking like crap. We've got to have a crew at every one of these things, and John Ford's sitting out there. If a tree comes down in the middle of the road, we gotta have somebody to cut it out.
He's already contacted all those guys and talked to
And
them.
that was my concern too, Commissioner, was the debris. If we've got a road blocked and somebody needs to leave, and they can't, that doesn't look good on us. I mean, Chief, I'm assuming your guys
I've
are
been
reporting.
getting calls all day long, y'all. People are, whether it's a big deal, we may not get hit with anything. It may be a joke like we sat through so many times before, but what if it's not? Then we're gonna look like dum-dums if we're sitting at the house.
Right.
So, I'm in agreement with what you said, but we need to have 5 or 6 at this department, 5 or 6 at this department, 5 or 6, every department. Because we're in a state of emergency, we have to get some money for this, we can do it.
Yeah, we have, like I said, we have the water plants running, the sewer plants running, the police department's running at full staff. The only one we have, we're talking about a skeleton crew was how many guys we needed for John's shop.
In the past, John, is there something that we've ever done in the past of how many people you would put on there?
That really depended on the storm, the severity of what we were expecting. So it could have been anywhere from 4 to 8. Certainly in the past, what we did was bring in, utility guys. We'd always bring, operators and equipment. If we had to shove something out of the way, run the trucks.
So, y'all, I'm completely good with it. The only thing I would like to add to it, let's do whatever
Yeah,
been done
that's
in the
what
past there, because I think, we got 50 lift stations we got in St.
A
Joe.
lot, and that was what our talk
And that
was
was
this
my
morning.
scary, you got those, you got flooding. I sat there and watched my wife's grandmother's house get completely flooded out from negligence on the city's behalf 10 years ago of a drainage ditch that was not clean. And once we took it out, the whole neighborhood receded. We took the grate off.
Yeah, we're not taking it
I
we're not
don't
taking
wanna
it
do
lightly,
that.
y'all.
You
Because
know,
like we got everybody, like I said, John Ford also too has already talked to all of his guys on there. The fire department, the guys that are really good about if we were to have trees down, they're the guys that can get on the ground really quickly with the chainsaws.
And I think you had spoken to me about that a long time ago, once before, that they were crucial in times like this. I would like to see them on board, Don's crew on board, everybody on board, even Tom, if we gotta get Tom out of the house.
I'll be here.
John had his crew out this morning, being proactive, cleaning drains.
Yes, he
saw
did, I
him,
rode by through.
I saw him up down the street.
Yeah. But,
So
you know,
that's a good thing.
It is, it's only as good when you get the first rain and then everything clogs back up.
Yeah, well, they were actually bagging it. They were actually bagging it, but I know they can't bag the whole neighborhood, so. But now, Marshall Nelson said, 30 minutes ago that, bridges a possibility to be closed
That's one of the-
mid-afternoon, so we need to make a decision on.
Yeah, he's already scared some of my employees off.
I know, y'all, that's something, how can we find out, is there gonna be any, maybe you've heard something on this, y'all, here, I've had several people call me, that, okay, we got people from Panama City here, okay, but they're at work, so they can't just shut their door and run out the door. Will there be any kind of like 30 minutes or?
The rule of thumb from the state is 45 miles an hour is the time at which state bridges should be shut down.
How do we all get notified? Is that the all-call? When the bridges are going down, do we do an all-call on that?
Okay.
The sheriff's office, the sheriff will ultimately make that decision.
Okay.
They will release a statement. The EOC will put it on their Facebook page. We will, they will. I've got a list of people to call as soon as we know.
Because that's just a big question that I'm getting from most people.
Well,
Am I gonna be able to get home from work, or do I need to stay?
Absolutely.
There is no set time. There was
I
some
know.
misinformation that got put out. When we were in that meeting today, there was information that got put out on one of the stations that it was closing at 2 o'clock. And
Well,
that's
I
what
was
we had.
actually watching Channel 13 and Megan says, understand me correctly, I'm saying this could happen. It has not happened yet on the bridge closure. Chief, what I'd like to know though is there any way you could touch base with Mike and say, Mike, are we gonna have 30 minutes head start on this thing so that people can shut their doors? or-
We may or may not. He and I will be in constant contact. I mean, the second the decision's made, I'll
You know what
know.
I'm saying? Cause he can't just
Yeah.
shut the bridge down and everybody, well, he can, but we don't want him to and everybody be stuck. You
Yeah.
know, if we could just say, hey, guys, y'all gotta get your stuff.
A lot of that, I think, is going to depend on this next update that comes out at 2.
Okay,
You know, if it's jogging more east like it did last time, the chances are probably slim that the bridges will get closed. But if it stays on the track it's on, I mean, by 9 or 10 o'clock tonight, I think you can bank on probably the bridges being closed.
Are we updating the city website or Facebook page like real time so we know? How can we get that information? as
City
quick as
website's
you
been
do?
down today. But no, we don't have a Twitter
I'd
account.
say go through the sheriff's department, they're gonna be the one to make it.
Yeah, they'll make that
Yeah,
ultimate
so do it
decision.
on their
Yeah.
website.
We usually follow Marshall Nelson. It takes the lead on this kind of stuff, guys. And then the sheriff falls in, then the police chief, and we all surround them.
We'll put it real time on our Facebook page. I know a lot of people have had questions on there today.
That's where I'll go.
So,
Now, in reference to that, we need to make a decision as far as our staff itself. We don't have a magic globe as to know if the winds are gonna come up before 5 o'clock, before most of our employees go home for the day. Do we want to send our non-essential employees home at a certain time today to get home just in case those bridges were not?
I don't have a problem with that, and I would say have them stay home until it's all clear tomorrow.
I think we need to decide first if we're gonna have any, like the public works guys, if we're gonna have those guys stay over.
I think that we made
We're
that
gonna-
decision, B.
Full-time?
I
mean,
think
not-
so. We need to have a crew on for every department. And when we get back from this meeting, we need to call them and tell them, say, hey, department head, put your crews together, and those that wanna go home or need to go home and get stuff done, do, and everybody else stay till this afternoon.
Well, this is my first political state of emergency. How does that work? Do
We need to
get
come,
someone
let's,
back?
let's start off from the things we need to do first,
Okay.
guys. First thing we need to do is, whenever this happens on there, the first thing usually happens is the county declares a state of emergency. That allows for federal funding if and when it's needed on there. I would actually recommend the first thing you do is you follow that lead. I would say a motion, something to the effect would be appropriate. The city of Port St. Joe declares a state of emergency due to Hurricane Hermine. That would be,
I'll make that motion now that we, dedicate the city of Port St. Joe, is that what you said?
declare a state of emergency for the city of Port
St.
St.
Joe,
Joe
an emergency
due to Hurricane or
Hurricane Hermine.
tropical storm Hermine.
Second.
Okay?
All right, we got a motion from Mr. Thursby, a second, Mr. Ashbrook. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0.
Okay, the next thing is, we need to see about authorizing, any and all employees that are needed for overtime. This is where we're talking about the things we're talking about, essential people needed. So what we need is for you to authorize staff that as a need arises, that we can authorize overtime for any employee, because normally your department heads don't get paid overtime.
Well,
But in
but
this
there
situation,
is something in a state of emergency,
That
I
is-
think,
that's why-
right? And I'll make that motion that for anybody needed, depending on what department heads say, that we have that done,
Authorize
including you,
overtime.
Jim, and anyone else that you see fit that may need to be on call.
perfect. Can we add one thing to that, Commissioner?
Yes, sir.
And any emergency repair that may need to be done.
And any emergency repairs that might need to be done. Can I get a second, guys?
Got a first.
Second.
First. Got a motion, Commissioner Thursby, a second, Commissioner Ashbrook again. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries
So
5-0.
that takes care of making sure that that's our responsibility to make sure town's taking care of all
Good
that stuff. Okay. Then the last thing is, we need to talk about whether, you wanna let an early dismissal for any employees. If you had let's say if we had a Cat 3 or Cat 4, those kind of situations, you gotta get your employees out of town to take care of their family, and then you gotta get them back in town as quick as possible. We're not in that situation, but we are looking at, we could possibly have some higher winds towards the end of the day on there. You know, I'm okay with it if you allow the mayor and myself on our own discretion, because normally what we're gonna get is, we should get a 30-minute window or so that we can say, hey, guys, we need to go ahead and let everybody go home. if you want
I
to.
mean, when they get off for a situation like this, are they getting paid or not paid?
I would recommend they get paid, yes.
Me too.
That would be
because I'm okay
administrative
with them
leave,
doing that, but I don't want somebody to have a 37-hour week that needs money, making $12 or something an hour, and he's like, I don't wanna not
No.
give. So I would definitely say at discretion, if it's okay with you guys, let, Mayor Patterson and Jim make that call. Is that okay with all you guys?
I'm fine with that.
That's fine.
Hey, I'm excited. I'm ready to go to town.
We don't have to vote on that, or do we?
I would go ahead and vote on that,
We
yeah.
I'll
got a
put that in
motion
the
by
form of a
Commissioner
motion.
Thursby, have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Commissioner Lowry. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, and that's basically what, that takes care of your major needs that are gonna be associated with any storm, y'all. From there, it's just things that y'all ask and need from us.
And that's the same, I think.
So y'all gonna make a decision on employees also come tomorrow as well?
Yeah, coming back to work
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Exactly. Right now, from everything we saw, a little while ago, everything should be fine, because you gotta remember, we got a water plant to run, a sewer plant, we have public works. Our staff, most of our staff is essential. I need just about every one of our staffs, even if we had a bad storm, I would need everybody in to help clean up and get our plants going, because we need clean drinking water, we need to make sure we're taking care of our sewer and cut our
Jim,
roads
that's why I
clean.
brought it up. I
Yeah.
want you to know that you got the support of this board to everybody that we possibly need.
Well,
because-
it is still Labor Day weekend, you know, this is it.
Yeah.
So once, as soon as those sticks hit the ground, we need to be out there picking them up.
So our plan is to be at work at 8 o'clock in the morning, so that's the plan right now, unless something
John, be there
majorly
at 6.
changes.
John's not going home.
So, no, it'll be a busy day for us trying to get ready for a holiday weekend.
Hey, no.
That you've already gotten ready for.
And now we're gonna mess up our parks. You see how clean John had the park?
Yeah, everything looked good.
This
I
is-
appreciate it. I mean,
And it's something I have to vote on, but I want to just, I think everybody agrees with this. If some of these guys have to stay all night long, and they don't take off today, I'd like to see tomorrow be part of their paid day. You see what I'm saying? If they work 24 hours, we need to send them home. Probably there's some laws that we got to anyway. Y'all work that out.
We're
I'm
gonna
just
take
saying that that's my feelings.
No, we're gonna make sure the guys are taken care of and nobody gets too stretched out working too long.
Now, what did, at EOC, meeting, you talked about minimal this, minimal that. Storm surge, I think is what everybody's really in a panic about. They're already down sandbags at the county. People are really being ready, I guess you would say, but from what I understand, 1 to 3 feet. Did anybody hear anything different than that?
Yeah, I've heard 1 to 3, and we're probably gonna have a little bit of a high tide too, so.
Matter of fact, I looked, we got 2 tides tomorrow, but I did look, and they were only looking like 1.5 to 2 feet above.
It's really high right now.
Yeah.
It's
You're gonna have some wave action.
Seems pretty strong.
Yeah.
We may have wave action later up to the first,
Not so early.
when it first comes through, everything will be out of the east, so everything will be look calm. And then as it goes by, it's gonna start coming out of the northwest, which is pushing on to a little rock. So, that'll be early in the morning.
Chief, how's your department for, safety as far as the big old puddles down there that usually form, down by the liquor store? And that's pretty bad. If you hit that, you don't know that it's there.
Yeah, when the water gets over the road, like always, we'll have someone there with blue lights going. We may have to call in John's on-call guy if he's not already out. But we'll
Jim?
We'll have the road taken care of there.
Call John in for with fire truck or something possibly?
If we had to, we will. Like I said, what we're planning to do
All
is
y'all
we're gonna
work
have,
together?
yeah, usually we're gonna have a stagger. We talked about, we're gonna have a trailer with cones, and if you ever into a major problem, that we'll have a trailer full of materials and stuff.
What else? Anything else?
We've done good.
I just wanna be prepared, that's all.
It's a good drill. Like I said, we're hopeful we don't have anything, but we're trying to prepare for the worst.
Well, there you go, and I know that's what we need, you tell us what we need to do to make everything right.
No, these guys out here, I got confidence.
All right, with all that said, I need a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
So moved.
Yeah, you might, if you're gonna do that, maybe let's get back to the